I hope you've done your studying because it's finals week. We've got finals in the NBA playoffs and the Stanley Cup playoffs alongside Xavier Maserati and Angus Trangmo. I'm Wesley Stomball, and we are out of timeouts once again. And we're still in three different time zones, but Angus has moved from the Mountain time zone to the Pacific because he's starting a play-by-play internship in Seattle. So we got to clap it up for that.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Exciting,
I
exciting
appreciate it,
stuff.
fellas. I appreciate it. I think we've definitely officially become the first Blaze radio show to film in all four time zones.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in 8 minutes we're gonna make history for probably being the first Blaze radio show to record on different days because
Yeah.
I will be
We're nice.
I will be into Saturday in 8 minutes here. It'll be midnight. So, you know,
We just
So yeah,
rewrite history around here. That's what we do.
literally.
that's what we do. We've got a loaded slate though today. We were talking about the NBA and then the NHL, and then we've got MLB and World Cup combined into the third quarter. So that'll be a jam-packed quarter, and then we'll round it out with some NFL free agency and Bears stupidity. So we're
You can
starting
already
out.
tell that's gonna be a great segment because Wes is gonna have some
Oh,
thoughts on that.
no,
Yeah,
Wes is just
I will.
Wes has everything to be happy about right now. So he's gonna have a great episode, I'm sure.
Okay. Yeah.
All
Good.
right.
Anyway, we'll
Ti-
get it started with the
Timer's ready to go.
association. We're
First quarter
filming.
starts now.
So we're filming Saturday night, and the Knicks just went up 2-0. I don't think anybody saw that one coming.
Yeah,
I
I
definitely
mean,
didn't. I definitely
And
didn't. I
two
mean,
really tight games down the stretch.
specifically the one that just ended today, game two. It almost felt like the Knicks didn't deserve to win that game down the stretch. Like, yes, they were up 15 with however many minutes left, but the Spurs really did outplay them in the fourth quarter. And it were the refs not great, and was it kind of a home whistle? Yes, but the Spurs really did outplay them, in my opinion, and the Knicks still found a way to win, and that's what makes this playoff run for New York so baffling to me. Is just like they'll be the worst team on the court on given nights, and they'll still just find ways to win. It's incredible, really. And now you're going back to Madison Square Garden up 2-0. I've seen this movie before. The Mariners went back to T-Mobile Park up 2-0 on the Blue Jays, and we all know how that ended. But it's like storybook almost. It's getting to a point where it's like they have plot armor. They just can't lose. It's crazy.
yeah. I mean, I am just gonna kind of echo what you said, and I want to just point this out. I did not do this on purpose, but I will say, like, I gotta give credit where credit is due. Like, this team is, I mean, they're playing out of their mind. Like, as you mentioned, the Spurs went on a 12-0 run at some point. It was with like the run ended with about 3-4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and the Knicks still won. Like the Spurs were the better team down the stretch. They had all the momentum, and the Knicks found a way to win. Like, it is insane to me how they just keep winning. Like, I'm pretty sure now they haven't lost in 43 days. They are 14-1 in the playoffs. Their last loss was, I believe, what, game two to the Hawks?
Game
Like,
three to
that's
the Hawks.
crazy. Game three
Yeah.
to the Hawks. But that's crazy. Like, I mean, I hate to say it, but this team is having one of the best playoff runs of all time. They're now tied for the second longest
Mhm.
win streak in playoff history. Like, it's insane. And I mentioned this last week on our episode, but the thing that's the best about this team, and which does kind of make them likable in a way, even for myself, I find it hard to totally root against them, is they don't have someone that, is a star. Tonight they had like three or four guys that had 20-ish points. There wasn't a guy on the team that had 35 and everyone else had 15. So it's incredible to me what they're doing. So I'll give credit where credit is due. I am rooting against them, but fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's been just a strange run and how they've emerged unscathed. Like I feel like I might have said the Spurs should have won both of these first two games in the series, and they've just somehow kind of pulled a rabbit out of their hats.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the dig on the Knicks coming into this series because obviously they just plowed through the East. But the dig is that, the the West was a little more top heavy than the East was all year. And everyone kind of had this sense that whoever got out of the West was going to win. And so even given the fact that they won 11 in a row coming into the finals, a lot of people, including myself, didn't think that they were going to turn that into anything in the finals. And now they're taking the Spurs, who outside of the Thunder are probably the most talented team in the NBA. Now they're just, they're doing the same thing to the Spurs that they did to the Cavs and to the Sixers and to the Hawks at the end of that series. And I don't know, it's just incredible. It's, you know, I'm always happy for a Wichita State guy. And Landry Shamet is like the perfect example of like, where did that dude come from? Like he's been on seven
Yeah,
different NBA teams or something like that. And now he's in at the end of game two of the NBA Finals, and he's like a key contributor to a team that's 2 wins away from a ring. Like it's unbelievable, really.
Yeah. I mean, couldn't have said it better myself. Like, I totally agree. I don't think many people expected the Knicks to take both in San Antonio. And, with how Madison Square Garden is, especially because they haven't seen an NBA Finals there since what, 1993? I believe that was the year
1999,
1999. So they haven't
yeah,
seen
against the
a
Spurs
finals there.
actually.
And funny,
Yeah,
very funny. So, I mean, that place is going to be rocking. Like, it's been 27 years since they've been back. That place is going to be loud. So, I mean, I didn't think I would say this, but I think a sweep is in the realm of possibilities. It really is. It is hard to win in that arena, especially, in this scenario when the team has won 12 straight and they're back in the finals for the first time in 27 years. Like, it's going to be a hard, hard place to win a game there.
I would be really shocked if they swept the Spurs, just because the Spurs are so much better of a team. And I mean, you could have said this in hockey about the Golden Knights and the Avalanche, and it happened. But like, I think there's no way that Wemby doesn't get one game in the finals.
I mean, I agree. The Spurs are a great team, but I think this series has really made me think like, are the Spurs that much better of a team? Like, let's be honest here. Like, sure, Wemby is the best player in this series, no matter what. Like, Wemby is a, generational talent. But I don't know. Are the Spurs that much better than the Knicks? Because it really doesn't look like it to me. Like, the Knicks just find ways to win. They find ways to claw themselves back into these games.
But I feel like that's the thing is like we watch these games and it's like the Spurs played better and they should have won. And not to like take the credit away from the Knicks, like they actually won, not just the hypothetical win, the
yeah,
analytical
they're not
win.
up 2-0 analytically. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like when you watch those games, it's like the Spurs do, I think, look still better.
hmm I think here's the thing is I do think the Spurs are a better team, but I think the Spurs are way less battle tested than the Knicks are. You got to think about this roster and who's getting the bulk of the minutes for San Antonio. You've got Wembanyama, who he didn't even play a playoff game before this year. Stephon Castle was the same way. Dylan Harper's a rookie. Um, De'Aaron Fox had the 1 year with the Kings, and he's like the guy with the most playoff experience on this roster. So, these are people that like, yes, they've gone on an insane run and they knocked out some really good teams to get to the NBA finals. But at some point you just got to say like, maybe you got to give it a couple of years with the Spurs. It's just because, especially down the stretch in game one, and then today we saw it with that turnover with what 10 seconds left. You feel like these big moments they haven't been able to deliver in the finals, at least.
I was gonna say that was totally the moment that changed this game. Like it was a tie game. The Spurs had 9 seconds, and then Wemby throws it off Stephon Castle's back. So I believe it was Stephon Castle, right? It wasn't
Yeah,
De'Aaron
it was.
Fox.
It was.
Stephon, yeah. So like that changed the game. It's either a game tying shot with no consequences. Instead, Brunson makes one, misses the second, and now you have to hit a game winning shot, right? So it is, there is that young team aspect to it that
Yeah,
makes them, they don't have that experience.
with what Angus was saying about like Landry Shamet being a journeyman in this team, I think Xavier might disagree because of his fandom, but I think this team itself is like a really fun team to have be successful. Maybe not so much
Mm.
the fan base and the franchise, but like this group of players is a cool one to see go all the way to the finals.
Yeah, I agree. You
So
kind
he
of
looks like
Wesley
he
just
has
cut
something to say.
sat out for a little bit.
Oh,
He just sat out for a little bit. That's all.
you kind of cut out a little bit.
oh, did I cut
Um,
out there?
you did, but I heard everything you said, and I mean I agree. It sucks to agree with that because, as you said, I don't want to, but like the thing that makes them so fun to me is that, as I mentioned, like they really just play as a team, which you don't see that much anymore. And we lost a member of our. I don't know where he went. We
I'm
lost the
going
camera.
a second, but
Well, he'll be back.
keep going.
Tick,
I'll
But
be
tick,
back.
tick, 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 tick.
anyway, I mean, I think this series isn't over, but it's an uphill battle for the Spurs for sure.
No. 30 seconds left. I mean, what do you want to see from San Antonio going into New York? Because I feel like this is kind of the same spot, even though obviously the locations are switched, but this is kind of the same spot the Cavs were in. Two
Right.
games that felt winnable for Cleveland, and they dropped both of them. And now you're down 2-0 against a blazing hot Knicks team. Like, what do you want to see from San Antonio to try and get back in the series? Because Cleveland showed no fight.
Right. I mean, it sounds simple. Like, all I'm really going to say is, like, it's one of these things where this Knicks team is so hot that, like, I don't know. I mean, you do have to play well no matter what. And the Spurs have been playing well. You're going to have to play great to be this team. Only thing I will say then, because we're out of time, is just don't give up. Keep going. And I mean, rely on Wemby. He's a hard guy to stop.
Coach is right, guys.
Welcome back.
We're gonna win
Okay,
this
wait.
series.
Hold
On
up.
us.
Stop the game. Stop the game. Congratulations to Out of Timeouts. We are filming an episode on different days.
Yep. There we go.
2-day episode.
Yep. 2-day
On June
episode.
5th
2-day
and
special.
June 6th, 2026.
Oof,
We filmed this
12:03
episode.
a.m.
June 5th and 6th. Wow.
You're troopers, Xavier. It was either this or Monday.
Appreciate y'all.
So we had to get it in at some point.
Anything for out of timeouts. I did have to wake up at 6 a.m. today to go to
All right.
work, but we're back.
Oh, and now he's complaining, ruining the moment.
That was not a complaint. That was not a complaint.
Quarter.
It was just a fact.
Second quarter starts now.
NHL Vegas got game one, to the surprise of probably you two, not myself. But then game two was just cinema. And it looked like they were going to go up 2-0 and then
Won, Wesley.
Yeah,
what?
who won?
I wasn't okay. That sounded a little more trash talky than I intended it, but no. I mean, I'm saying I think most people were on the Canes in Game One, and Vegas went in there and made it look like they're going to go up 2-0, and then a really huge comeback for Carolina there in the third and overtime in Game Two.
Yeah,
I want to just talk about Seth Jarvis. It seems like every time they need a moment, it's Seth Jarvis out of all people. It's like, great for him, but like there's so many different guys that could be on that roster, and he just always finds a way to be the big guy in the big moment, and it's super cool to see. It really is.
100%. And these, they were talking about it on the broadcast right before that overtime goal, the game winner, happened in Game Two. But they were talking about it. They were saying, like, he's been kind of struggling. Him and Sebastian Aho both been kind of struggling this series. And I mean, this playoffs rather in general. And I remember the call on the goal was Seth Jarvis quiets the critics and, the Canes take Game Two, right? It's a good call. Like, I mean, I totally agree. It is, it's such a hard sport. Like, and it is, those guys are too good to stay quiet for that long. Both Seth Jarvis and Sebastian Aho. Aho had a big goal. I believe it was Game 7 of not Game 7. What am I saying? He had a big goal against? Oh my God, who did Carolina just play?
Montreal.
Yeah, I think he had a big goal in that Montreal game where they eliminated them, or it was in game one of Vegas. Beside the point. Anyway, that game was great. Carter Hart was lights out through the first two periods, but props to Carolina. They say the 2-goal lead in hockey is the worst lead for a reason, because you don't feel safe enough that you can let your foot off the gas, but it's still close enough for their team that's still within reach. And Carolina really took advantage of that. And I think Vegas made some mistakes down the stretch, but good on Carolina. You kind of needed it, in my opinion. So series tied up, going back or going to Vegas now. So Wesley, you're muted.
Wesley, your mic's off, man.
Whoops. Vegas's challenge on that goal call where Carolina
Yeah.
tied the game, or no, where Vegas almost took the lead and they said no goal. I think it's probably the correct call, but it's so dumb to me that losing a challenge is a penalty. I just, especially in the Stanley Cup Finals, like you should want to get every call right and not
Yeah.
punish a team for wanting to take a look at what could be the go-ahead goal in the third period of a Stanley Cup Finals game.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a good sign for the NHL to review that rule and be like, hey, this should probably be changed because they're kind of behind the times on that. If you look at really any other major sports league, the challenge is just, goes by the wayside because they want to be right and they want to be accurate because, you don't want refs deciding a game. That's never what you want as a fan, as a player, as a coach, as anything, even a ref. You don't want the refs being the focal point of the game. And they're not exactly the focal point in that situation. That's just kind of how the rule book is. But I think the league will look at that instance in one of the biggest games of the year and say, "Hey, it's time to make a change here." So, did it help my prediction? Yes, but is it the way you want to see that go down? Not really.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of take a different point of view from than both of you. So they implemented this rule a couple years ago, and it makes sense to me because there's not really timeouts in hockey. There's one a game, but very rarely, like, they're not really that important. If you ask me, the timeout in hockey is very, very minimal and not that important. It doesn't get used a ton. Really only gets used at the end of games, towards when you pull a goalie. But anyway, to me, I don't know. To me, it makes sense because it adds an extra element of strategy. I agree that it is, kind of a big punishment for just getting a challenge wrong. Like there should be an alternative, but I still don't dislike how it is right now. I can see why people do, for sure. But in terms of this situation too, I think it's a bad challenge by Tortorella. I do. Like, it is one of those things that I believe it was Barbashev on the Vegas Golden Knights. I might be wrong about that, but Barbashev hit into the glove, like was poking, moving the goalie, and then the puck went in the net. Like, it's one of those things that it's so unlikely to get that call overturned. And at that point in the game, too, the game was tied. Like, I get it. Like, if it is a goal, you take the lead. But it feels like one of those things that was kind of a stupid and like rogue challenge. Like, you didn't need to challenge that. I think the refs got it right, but I mean, kind of changed the game. Of course, then Vegas tied it, 3 minutes later with Mark Stone goal with the empty net. But I don't know. I could go either way, but I think in this case, the refs did get the call right.
I think I can see where he's coming from with the challenge just because Carolina had been terrible on the power play and Vegas had been good on the penalty kill. And so you're like, I feel pretty good about our chances to kill this penalty. So if there's any shot, the goal is good, then I want to look at it. But I think there just wasn't any. Like, even as somebody who doesn't know hockey rules very well, I'm watching the replay and I'm like, there's no way they're going to overturn the call on the ice there.
Well, I mean,
I
like,
agree.
you don't even have to watch hockey. It just looked awkward. Like,
Yeah.
it looked like a play that it just didn't feel right. And like, you
Yeah.
don't have to be like an aficionado of the sport to realize like you can't do that. Like,
Yeah.
that's just not how the game was intended to be played. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of with
100%.
Xavier on this one. I feel like that challenge, you can put that in your back pocket because it feels like that's just the way it's gonna be because it just looked so janky, especially on replay. Like once you took a look at it, it's just like there's just no way that should count, and it
And
didn't.
I mean, could it have been a little bit of an emotion infused decision because it kind of felt like a desperate time where you were up 2-0 with like 9 minutes left and all of a sudden it's tied. And you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like maybe they wanted that goal really badly because they just felt kind of desperate after giving up the lead on the road.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
think it's definitely a good point. Like it kind of was one of those things that might have been an emotional kind of challenge because they just gave up two straight to the best team in the league all year, one of the best teams in the league all year. But I mean, to your point about Vegas being really good on the power kill and all that, so them leading to them taking the chance, I think it's a good one. I believe Tortorella said after the game that he was said something along the lines of that, oh, Carolina hadn't been good on the power play and, we had been good on the kill. So I liked our odds. But at the same time, with 5 minutes left in the game and, and it's a 2-2 game, like it still seems like just kind of an unnecessary challenge. You didn't need to do it. Like it
I mean,
feels
I guess
too, yeah.
I feel like you could boil it down to a pretty simple question of are the odds greater that you win the like that the you win the challenge or that you get the or that they score on the power play. And even with a team that's bad on the power play, like what, there was like a 5% chance that call is going to be overturned. So like I feel like it still isn't.
I agree.
One
But
minute.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of been our motto on this show, but especially around the NHL. But that Carolina team is, I don't know, they have too many stars. They have too many talented players to go cold forever on the power play. Like
Mhm.
it wasn't going to happen. Like, they were, I don't remember the exact number, but they, were cold for sure. And then, of course, the final two goals of the game, but, the game, at the time, the one that gave them the lead and then the one that won them the game in overtime were both on the power play, right? So I don't know. Like I see both sides. It is a really interesting dilemma because I mean, it did like that was probably the turning point in the game in my mind. Even if Vegas tied it, that's where all the momentum kind of went to Carolina.
Yeah, I totally echo what you're saying. It's just like they've got too many guys.
Yeah,
Like it felt like it was going to break through at some point, and that was like the worst possible time for it to break through if you're a Golden Knights fan.
And how about
yeah.
just the clutch factor there of them being so cold in the power play and then going 2 for 2 to win the game
Mm,
on those last two power plays?
yeah.
That is
I'll
why.
hold any technicals for any of us though, and head to our halftime segment. But I'm going to throw it right back to Xavier because he has the question of the week, and he's really fighting it not to make his NHL comment, but he's going to do it because he doesn't want
Pretty
to catch a fire.
strict ruling over from
I
Bloomington.
know. Do I have the time to or no?
You got
I just
15
wanted
seconds.
to get in
Time it.
one thing about.
15
I
seconds.
was just gonna say the only thing about that Carolina team, the reason they're so good is because they know how to win. Like they had two power plays in two crucial situations, and they took advantage of both of them. That's what a great hockey team does, and I think Vegas
That's
can do
what
that too.
Colorado couldn't do. That's what Colorado couldn't
Exactly.
do.
Exactly.
That's why they got swept.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Halftime question of the week, and it's Xavier. What do you got for us?
Yes. So we did something similar earlier in the year, probably way back when, but there is a clarity that I want to make sure you guys know. So, my question for you guys is in your opinion, out of say, we can include college football, college basketball, and then the big four sports. And why not? The FIFA World Cup, because we're in the season for it as well. FIFA World Cup's thrown in there. Out of all those, what in your mind is the hardest trophy to win? Not, what's your
Mm.
favorite playoffs? Like, what is the most competitive? No. What is the hardest, whether it's mentally, physically, like all of that? So I have an answer, but if you guys don't have one, I can go or whatever you guys want.
I
Go
like this
ahead.
question a lot, and it's easy for me. It's Lord Stanley, every series is 7 games from the top, and you've got to like it's maybe the most physical out of the big four sports. Yeah, football probably is more physical now. I think now
Yeah,
that I
come on.
really think about it, but I mean, hockey's not too far off. It's not as far off as you think,
Right.
and they've got to play 7 deep in some cases, and the turnaround is what, like 2 days, like the same turnaround you get for the NBA playoffs, which is that really comparable? Not really. I mean, like it seems like a tight turnaround, you know? So I think it's the Stanley Cup, uh, followed followed probably by March Madness, just because, winning 6 in a row in any case is hard to do, single elimination. And then I'll go the NFL playoffs. But I think it's the Stanley Cup playoffs, and it's not really that close.
Wes, do you want me or do you want to go?
I'll go because Angus is blaspheming over here. The correct answer is the World Series. You want to talk about grueling. First of all, you're at the end of a 162 game season that is just notoriously a marathon. After even spring training is like the most grueling regular season I mean, preseason of any sport. You have a 162 game season, and then you get the postseason, and it's also a series. It's not 7 games every series, but it's 5, 7, 7. So close enough. And most teams are going to have to play in the wild card, so 3 before that. And it's when you get to postseason baseball, it becomes such a grind because starting pitchers are going like 3 innings and they're pitching on short rest, and relievers are pitching like every game of a series, and it's all hands on deck. And when baseball gets like that, it grinds you down. And so it's the World Series.
Here's why I put the NFL playoffs ahead of that is because, yes, there's obviously not as many games just because it's not realistic for football to have any more games than it already does. But the physical toll that it has, I think, is more severe. And then, the you got to think about the Dodgers. Let's think about the Dodgers this last year. Obviously, the World
Right.
Series was an absolute battle against the Blue Jays. But before that, they only had to play um, 10 games. They played 2 against the Reds, 4 against the Phillies, and 4 against the Brewers before getting to the World Series.
I
In the
mean,
Stanley Cup, in the Stanley Cup playoffs, it's not possible to make the finals without winning at least 12.
Yeah.
it's 2 more games, and I'm not. It's not
Well,
totally.
it's 2 more games if you beat everyone and you
Yeah,
go
but
undefeated,
I don't.
and
I
which
mean,
is never going to happen in most
is there
cases,
a
unless you're
competitive?
Carolina, apparently.
Okay, yes, MLB needs a salary cap, so the Dodgers can't just mow through everyone. But I don't think that discredits the difficulty of winning a Major League Baseball postseason. And the other thing is just that baseball is just the hardest sport in the world. And like each of the physical, it doesn't have quite the physical grind, although it still is a lot playing as many games as they do. But like mentally, for it being such a
I get
difficult
that.
sport
Yeah.
to fail, 70% of the time for 8 months out of the year, and then it's postseason time.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
I
I
think
I agree with you there. Yeah.
yeah, I think you totally have an argument because it is a very, very hard sport. You definitely have an argument for that. No doubt, right? But in my mind, I will agree with Angus. It is the Stanley Cup. I don't think it's close. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't think it's that close. For the fact that Angus mentioned, every series is 7 games. This is a overly physical game. It's a very comparable physical game to the NFL. And the NFL does 1 game playoffs, right? Like 1 game series, I mean. And they play 82 games in the regular season. Sure, it's not 164 or 162, excuse me. But, you know, then these players just constantly get hit. They get even more in the playoffs because the playoffs are even more physical. And the thing that, in my mind, speaks to the toughness that it takes to win a Stanley Cup is you always see after these NHL series, the teams release an injury report, whether it's, maybe not the team itself, but a media outlet releases the injury report and it's like torn MCL, like ruptured lung, broken rib. Like it's there's always a long list of, injuries. Like, for example, the Bruins in their elimination game, there was a defenseman playing with a torn MCL. He tore a ligament in his knee and was still playing. Brad Marchand a couple of years had like a punctured lung and a broken rib and was still playing in the playoffs. Like that just speaks to how tough these guys are and how hard it is to win a Stanley Cup.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. It's, I mean, I guess maybe it's an argument of like physical versus mental toll more than anything, but I still think like it's really underappreciated how insane it is to play 162 games with as few off days as they have. Like it takes a different level of mental toughness, and not just toughness, but also like being strategic about not losing your sanity, especially when you're a team like the Cubs and you lose a million games in a row. And like,
Hey, we're almost there. We're almost there.
I
but
mean, I
that's
totally agree. Like, you totally do have an argument, genuinely. But, I don't think it's first. I think it's high up there. If I had to rank it, I'd put it 3. I think NFL is harder just because you get one shot, and you have to be on your best or you're screwed. Like, I
that
think
doesn't.
that makes the NFL tough in itself, because if you're not on your best game that day or you make, a couple mistakes, you lost. Like,
Yeah, but
That's
that
why.
also makes
That's
it
why I think
easier
March
for a
Madness.
worse team to win it because you could just get hot for 3 games and you win the what's it called, the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Dodgers won 111 games in 2023, and the Diamondbacks swept them.
right.
Like
I feel like
that
you have that
happens
in
in
every
any
sport.
postseason.
Yeah.
That happens in any postseason.
Right.
So, like that's I Xavier's logic is kind of why I think March Madness is really hard to win, and that's not just because it's my favorite by a long shot. It's because like an off shooting night is all it takes to lose. Like the NBA
Exactly.
playoffs, that's way different because an off shooting night you're just down 1-0 in the series. An off shooting night and you are a joke for the rest of eternity and you're 2018 Virginia. Like the, that's that's insane stakes. You got one game to win, and like, is it usually lopsided at the beginning of the tournament? Yes, but like all it takes is a stinker and you're out. And like we see that all the time with one seeds. Like we didn't have one seed in the final four a few years
But
ago, and like the
I
highest
read
seed was
the
a
same thing
four.
that I said about the NFL is like it becomes a game more of like not you have to be the best team, but you have to be in the top 10 teams and get hot at the right time. Like that's the whole game.
Yeah.
Because at least, especially, I think it's more the case in March Madness and NFL. It's like you have maybe 10 teams that realistically can win it, and of those 10 teams, it's not going to be the best team that wins it. It's going to be the team that gets hot at the right time.
Hmm.
I mean, I
Yeah.
agree. Like, there is that case. But at the same time, part of the reason why these teams get hot and, why they, have these, like upsets, they win these games they're not supposed to win, is because they game plan well. It's also about strategy. Like, if you game plan better than the other team, you're going to have a leg up in the game. It's about blocking, it's about pass rush, it's about when to blitz. Like, there is a lot of strategy that goes into the NFL, especially in playoff games, because you're like, I got one shot at this. I have 60 minutes to try to go out and win a playoff game. And that's it.
It reminds me of Dusty May solving the problem with UConn's height by just having them
Throwing it off
the
the
ball to the
backboard.
Mara by just throwing it off the backboard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
still
yeah.
think that's BS. I think Elliot Cadeau just couldn't hit a shot.
Yeah.
That's
I
my
could
that's
also.
I still think that's a lie, but who knows? They won a
We'll
natty,
never know.
so
I guess. Yeah,
yeah, it worked, whatever it was.
yeah. What
Exactly.
are we looking like for time? Do we time halftime these days?
No, we never have.
Not
Okay.
really. I
Oh,
don't
we
think we
haven't?
ever
Never
have.
have?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never timed question of the week. No,
I
We kind
I've
of
timed
just
third quarter though.
naturally. There we
I
go.
guess all right, let's get the third quarter started. Two really
It starts right now.
so MLB, and that's a sad topic for me right now. But also the World Cup, and I'm repping today. I'm
Oh,
excited. We got it starting what the 11th, right?
I'm repping today too.
Wow,
yep.
Repping
let's
today
see.
too, Wesley.
Wow, let's go.
Taco
We're
Dollar.
all
Really? Oh,
ripping.
okay. Wow. Never mind. Anyway, we'll start with Major League Baseball. Any headlines you guys are particularly interested in?
The
Um,
Guardians. Whoa.
yeah,
These guys
yeah.
are insane. We knew kind of with that run last year that they could get hot, and like obviously they showed it when they hawked them the Tigers. But holy moly, like there's no way anyone could have expected the Guardians to be playing at this level. And shout out Von Olem, our
Shout out.
Cleveland expert. Um, I mean, he's always been a proponent of like this team is talented and like they can do it. It just never seems to pan out in October. And I think this is the best Cleveland team I've seen since they went to the World Series in 2016.
Yeah, I
What?
mean, to add on to your
Mhm.
point,
Yeah,
oh Wes, you got Wes's ears perked up over
yeah,
there. But oh, here we go. We're gonna get a little zoom in. Oh, look, oh, they won the World Series.
See,
Yeah,
my
look,
okay.
fault.
Anyway,
My fault.
let's move.
My fault.
okay.
I totally agree with you. Like the Red Sox just played a series against the Guardians, and I was looking at like the box score one day. I was like, whoa, like the Guardians are 33 and 20, whatever they were. But they are they're 36 and 29 right now. But I was like, whoa, the Guardians are good. I was like, they're really, really good. So I mean, as you said, good on them. It feels like one of those teams that, sure, apart from Jose Ramirez, doesn't really have anyone who's a standout star, but they have a bunch of good players. They don't have a bunch of like great players, maybe like the Dodgers, but they have a bunch of good players who just kind of really play well together.
Maybe I'm just salty that the Cubs are skidding in a really good NL Central, but the Guardians are also just pretty blessed to be playing in the American League Central right now that has very little
I
to
mean,
offer.
anyone in the AL is blessed to be playing in the AL. Just
Yeah.
look at the
I would
Mariners.
agree with that too.
Like
Like,
the Mariners are 33 and 31, and I feel pretty comfortable in the lead in the division, which should not be the case.
Yeah.
I mean, the Red
Is
Sox are for that point, the Red Sox are 27 and 35, which is horrendous. And they're only 3.5 games out of the wild card, which is stupid. Like they should be
That's just how
10
the AL
games
is
out.
this year.
I know, like truly. But
yeah, somehow all of the talent ended up in one league this year.
They're all
Uh,
going to
truly.
try this year.
I guess so.
I mean,
Z-
if you want to talk about that, then like you got to feel bad for Pirates fans. Like this is the first good Pirates team that we've seen in years. And now
Yeah.
the rest of the division is also really good. That's just
yeah,
tough timing. And
yeah.
like Skeen's contract is getting shorter by the day, and I think every Pirates fan knows he's probably not coming back. And you've had standout guys anyway, and like Ashcraft and Brian Reynolds is having a good year. But this doesn't seem like something that the Pirates can sustain past the season or maybe even past July. Who knows? But that's just a tough break for the Pirates.
It
The
totally
Pirates
is.
are like just a poor enough organization that like, I agree with you that like when they're good for one season, it's like a bolt of lightning. It's lightning strikes once and then they're terrible for another decade. So like it does suck that their one good year is when the whole NL Central is good.
Yeah. I mean, and they have a bunch of promising guys too. I mean, Ono Cruz is still a pretty damn good
Mhm.
player.
I just don't think they're going to pay any of them.
Yeah,
They won't.
it's a
No, they
problem.
won't.
Yeah,
They definitely won't. Like, I mean, you
no.
should pay Connor Griffin. You should definitely play that guy. I think I mean, to your point, Angus, I think Skeens is going to leave anyway. Feels like he wants to
Mhm.
win a World Series, and unfortunately, I don't think he's going to win one in Pittsburgh. It kind of feels like he is out on Pittsburgh. But
Why
like
not?
they are, I mean, they're a good team. Like they have some good names, and they still have a lot of young talent. Like, but I agree, they just kind of got unlucky.
When you say that they're not going to be able to pay any of them, it feels like the Pirates are kind of just like a Dodgers farm team. They develop these guys, and not just the Dodgers, but like for the good
Mhm.
teams in the league, they
Yeah.
develop these guys, they get their rookie contracts, and then they leave for a better team. Tyler Glass now, Austin Meadows, um,
Mhm.
who
I
was,
mean, the Rays aren't exactly big spenders, but yeah.
yeah, but then, uh, so that's just kind of a disappointing thing for the Pirates. But I don't know. I guess maybe I should touch on the Cubs briefly. It is kind of a national storyline. It's just how horrendous they've been. And when Xavier talked about the Guardians being a team that has a lot of good players, but they just play really well together, the Cubs are like a team that has a bunch of good players, and they just stink. They just stink together. It just doesn't
Can't
work.
match. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to think about them. I mean, I've spent so much time thinking this team is way better than they're playing. It's going to turn around, and it just kind of never does. And
It's
they're
three
in
and a
the
half minutes, by the way. So we should
okay.
probably get to the World Cup
Yeah,
talk. But before we do
I'll wrap
that,
it up
I
really
just wanted to
briefly.
say the Phillies are back in the playoff picture, and that's
Yeah.
crazy given that they just fired their manager like a month and a half ago. So
I
Yeah.
know they've
shout out to
been
the
great
Phillies.
as soon as they did that. So, of
Yeah. Mm.
All right.
course, Kyle Schwarber is
Cool.
playing out of his mind.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's a pretty good
Yeah.
hitter.
Pretty good. So we've got the biggest event in sports coming up, and it's going to be in North America. It's going to be in the United States. It's even
It's
in
gonna be down the street. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, literally.
It's probably a 40-minute drive to Lumen Field from
I
where
was
I
gonna
am right
say
now.
I
Oh, is
Yeah.
it in
was
Seattle too?
Hmm. Yeah.
Hmm.
I was gonna say for me, if I somehow make it to a game, which I won't, but it would be probably an hour drive with traffic. So, but right down the
There you
road,
go.
down in Foxborough.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I, w I wish, the World Cup coming to US came at a time when I was a little richer, because like it would be so cool to go to a World Cup game, but
Yeah.
I'm
I
sure
cannot
it'll be
It'll be
find
back.
back. It'll be
$5,000.
back.
Yeah.
It'll be back. But it's been super cool to like be in Seattle and Xavier. I'm sure the time you spent in Boston, you could say the same thing. It's like it's been really cool to kind of just move around and you can kind of feel it in the air. It's just like there's starting to be this energy of like everyone's really excited for this to get here. And like the example I had is like I went to the South Center Mall in Tukwila, Washington, and they have these like street banners up on the light posts, and it says the world celebrates in Tukwila. First of all, it doesn't, but it's just cool to see like these cities come together. It's just like something you don't really see outside of sports. And now that it's on the global stage, I feel like it's going to be good marketing for all the great cities here. Like Kansas City's got games. Kansas City's great. The time I've spent in Kansas City has all been good. And, they've got good sports fans. And I think you can say that for a lot of the cities that are hosting games. So it's really good to see.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. Like, I was driving down to Foxborough the other day, and they have a big sign right near Gillette Stadium, and it's like FIFA World Cup this way, like Boston Stadium up here. Like, which I thought was funny.
1 minute.
They, I guess, technically renamed, the stadium, but even the
Oh,
stadium
yeah.
itself is
Seattle
already
Stadium,
like,
not Lumen Field. Sorry.
I know, but um, even like, seeing Gillette Stadium or Boston Stadium the other day, like with the big, like there was a huge like FIFA World Cup banner on the side. I was like, this is awesome. Like, I'm gonna look in to try to go to a USA game, when the US play, like go to a watch party somewhere in Boston. That would be the hope, bring some of my friends into Boston, because I feel like this, like what you said, like all these cities are kind of uniting around this. And it feels like a lot of people are going to be interested in it this year.
It's an exciting time. Even none of us are crazy about soccer, but the World Cup is always awesome to watch.
Hmm.
Definitely. I mean, I said it
Yeah.
last week and I'll say it again, but it's such a thing that now I'm like, you know what? Like, I want to watch it. Like, I'm going to root for my country as, many people out there do. And, I want to see if my team can go far.
I
Or we
also plan on attending a Scotland watch party somewhere in Seattle because those
got
guys don't play. And I watched a game. They were in the middle of Euro qualifying in 2024. I was in Scotland. I was in Glasgow, and they are exciting people. That's the way to put it. They love watching their team, and they're probably not going to make it out of the group stage, but they are passionate. They're probably the most passionate people I've ever been around. And I got a jersey while I was there. So, and my name's Angus, so I'd be a natural.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
there you go.
All
I'm
right.
basically Scottish.
Basically, that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
I guess so. Quarter number four is the other football, and a lot going on during the offseason in that.
And it
Miles
starts now.
Rams, um, AJ Brown to the Patriots, Chicago
What?
Bears to Indiana.
Yeah.
AJ
I
Brown
just
to the Patriots, it's maybe the most like unsurprising trade just because everyone knew that was going to happen. Like maybe the
Yeah.
most unsurprising NFL trade I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, I just want to give a quick shout out. That was a clinical transition there over by Wes, connecting the two footballs. But anyway, so clap it up for that. But let's just, I totally agree. As a Patriots fan, I sat there when it happened and I was like, I don't really feel that excited. Like I kind of felt subdued because I knew it was going to happen. Like not even in a narcissistic way, if you will, but it felt like
Mhm.
for the past
Yeah.
2 months, all the Patriots media was talking about, oh, how is AJ Brown going to change this team? Like it was going to happen, you know. And I mean, it's an interesting one. Like I think he will add a lot to this Patriots team. They kind of have their first like true wide receiver one in my mind in I mean the past few years. Like I mean they haven't had a true wide receiver
Stephon Diggs
one in
wasn't
a
one?
while. I would say he's
I
close to it, but
I
I don't
agree
think
with
he
Xavier
is.
on this one. I don't think he was the first option when he was a Patriot.
Like
Hmm.
not at
Um,
that like age in his career. I don't think he is. I don't think I would put him in a true number one, role. Like, he was the one guy on the Patriots, but it's not like he would be, you know, I don't think he's a one talent anymore, if that makes sense. And I think AJ Brown is, he's 28 years old. He is a great wide receiver, top 10 league. And I mean, it's a good addition for the Patriots. Like, now the problem is if you can actually block for May, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I think, I mean, it just fits really well. And I think that's why it was such an easy trade and everybody kind of knew it was going to happen.
yeah, I mean, there's the bond with Vrabel because they were obviously together in Tennessee, and it seems like the Patriots just want to build a big wide receiver core. You have Mac Hollins, you have, excuse me, Romeo Dobbs, I believe is pretty big as well, at least height wise, and you
Man,
have,
it
of course, AJ Brown.
must be nice to be a fan of teams that want to pay superstars.
It's true.
oh, wah,
What? What?
wah,
No.
I
wah.
don't want to hear complaining from you. You
Okay.
have a great
Oh,
team too.
okay. You get to
Okay, I
okay.
mean,
You've
I'm
done your
talking.
complaining. I'm gonna complain. Everyone, be quiet. I'm gonna
Okay,
complain.
geez.
The Rams just traded for Miles Garrett, and now here's what I've got to deal with in the division. You ready? Here's what the Arizona Cardinals are going to be looking at. So you've got the hardest strength of schedule in the league already. Cool.
I didn't know that.
You've got to, with a fourth place schedule, you've got the hardest strength of schedule in the NFL. You got to play the defending Super Bowl champions twice. You got to play Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Fred Warner. Got to play them twice too. And then, maybe you've got like a interesting third place team that you could maybe get one off of outside of that. No, you've got an actual super team also in the division.
Angus,
You got to play them twice.
I'm gonna make a recommendation. Okay, you're you're already a Kraken fan and a Mariners fan, and you're already in
No,
Seattle. I'm gonna suggest you
No,
just pick up a Seahawks jersey while you're in town and make the switch.
it's going to feel so good in 2080 when they finally break through and make the divisional round, man. It's going to be awesome.
It'll happen. The Cardinals will have their time, but I agree. Right now is not their
Yeah,
time, and they are in trouble
yeah.
next year. I mean,
No,
if you ask
but
me,
in all seriousness, looking at this as unbiased as I possibly can, the NFC West is the best division in football.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
And
not even close.
that is not because of the Cardinals, that's despite the Cardinals. The Rams
Yeah.
are probably the most talented NFL team maybe I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Just like
I wanted to talk
just
about
like
like the
name
Rams.
like face value alone, when you take those guys and what they can do on a football field, they might be the most talented team I've ever seen
Can
in the
let's
NFL.
touch on the Rams while we're there because we haven't really talked much about Myles Garrett, but like that makes the
Yeah,
Rams so scary because last year they were what the best offense in football, and on the defensive side, it's like not that they were bad, but it's like if you're going to beat them, you're going to beat them in a
It's what
shootout.
cost them. It is what cost them against the
Yeah,
Seahawks.
if you're going to
Yeah.
beat the Rams, it's going to have to be in a shootout because you're not stopping their
Mm.
offense. And now to put Myles Garrett on that defensive line, it's like, how are you going to beat him?
and I think people are quickly forgetting that maybe I have this wrong. I believe I do not, but the Rams also have Trent McDuffie,
Yeah,
one
they
of
should.
the one of the better corners in the league for the past couple years from the Chiefs. They have a great corner in McDuffie. They now just got Myles Garrett, and then they have that offense, as you mentioned. Like this team might win the Super Bowl easily.
I
Like
mean, they're coming, they're in the same division as the reigning Super Bowl champions, and they're probably coming
true,
in as the favorite.
they are 100%. I think they should be the favorite to win that division. That's not a diss to Seattle, but this Rams team is unreal. Like pending some fluke, something that happens in the season, whatever. Like, I think they should win this division, and I think they should make it to the NFC Championship game at least. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm
This
with you.
team feels really good, and just to think of the thought that there is a outside chance that Aaron Donald comes back and plays another year for the Rams. Seriously,
Okay.
no, seriously,
Oh, don't
he
even, dude.
has,
Is
I'm
he
you
gonna
know,
really
start
considering it?
sweating over here.
why would you not
I
consider it? He gets to play
Yeah.
with one of the best defensive ends in football and gives himself another chance to win a ring. Like
I guess.
he's already won
That,
one, I guess,
yeah.
but still. And he could do it. He's still in shape enough that he could totally do it. I mean, it's Aaron Donald. He's a freak athlete.
I've
That
already
is
watched him
really,
enough, man.
that's not fun for the quarterbacks in that division.
No,
But
no.
Angus, do you want to finish your thought on how good the NFC West is? You haven't even talked about the 49ers, who are not bad at all.
Yeah, I mean, back to the Rams, barring that they pull a 49ers and just everyone gets hurt. I agree with Xavier. It's just like you have to make the NFC Championship because that team made the NFC Championship this past year, 4 points short of the Super Bowl. Sorry,
Right.
Xavier. They probably would have beat the Patriots.
They probably
And
would have. Yeah. I think
yeah,
the Patriots would have had a better chance against the Rams because their
I
defense
agree
wasn't
with
as
the
good.
defense.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Devin
But
Witherspoon, we had Devin Witherspoon.
but you got better. I think everyone can agree that that team got better from last year already. And
Yeah,
like Jared Verse is a great young talent, but he's not Myles Garrett. No one's Myles Garrett.
No. God, no.
So that team has gotten better, and they were already really good. They were probably already the second best team in football last year. And
And they have the reigning.
The Seahawks have lost a step, in my opinion, losing Kenneth Walker
I agree.
and Tariq Woolen and guys like that. I
and I feel
really do
like
think the Rams have eclipsed them. But in this division, you're looking at three teams that I think could win the Super Bowl. So it's just going to be a bloodbath. And then you look at the NFC North, and you could make an argument for all four of those teams to make pretty deep runs. Maybe not the
maybe not the
Vikings.
Vikings.
But the Vikings have great pieces too. So the NFC is just kind of turning into the Western Conference of the NFL, if you know what I mean. Like,
National League of the MLB, sorry.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I,
It's just like it's weird that it's happening in all these different sports, but it just feels like all of the talent is funneling to the NFC all of a sudden.
The
I
I
don't know
thing is,
why.
agree.
Groovy,
I don't know why
uh,
that is, but
just for the really quick, just for the Rams, it's crazy because when you have a team of that caliber, the question is usually like, can they maintain that level? It's almost never that they do that and they're that good, and then they get significantly better going into the next year. So they're really scary.
Yeah, I have
Mhm.
two quick things I want to say as well. Something we haven't even brought up is the
One
Rams
minute.
have the defending MVP. Matthew
Yeah.
Stafford just won the MVP and had, I don't remember the exact number, but he had like what, 55 touchdowns? Maybe it
Mhm.
wasn't that high, but it was somewhere around there, I think.
No way. No
Anyway,
way. It was 55. Yeah.
well, okay, maybe it was less, but he had a lot of
Mhm.
touchdowns regardless. He had a great year. He won the MVP. Like, we're forgetting that. They have the defending MVP. They have Puka Nakua. Like, this team is loaded. And
Yeah.
then
Karen Williams,
two,
Blake Corum.
yeah. But to your point, Angus, I agree that the NFC is stacked. They totally are. But to combat
But the
that,
Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl.
no, I didn't say that. I didn't say that, did I? To combat that, the AFC also has some pretty good teams. You have Mahomes, who is going to be in it this year after,
Mhm.
getting injured. Like, he's going to come back and he's going to be really good. I think Mahomes is going to make it to the playoffs again, all of that. You have the Patriots, you have the Bills, the Ravens. There are a lot of good teams in that AFC too.
Nice buzzer beater by Xavier.
They can't
And
hang. Sorry.
and how
Guess
long
we'll
have we
see.
got for overtime, Angus?
I mean, I don't think Talking Stinks is
Yes,
coming
yeah.
in after us, so we'll do a minute.
All right.
Is
I,
anyone ready to go? Because I can go
I
if you
can
want me
go.
to.
I can go as well. Wow, look at us. All
Wow.
of us are
We'll start
ready.
with
Look at
Xavier
First,
because he's
first
us.
been
time.
eager. That is a first,
Look at
actually.
us.
We're all
Okay.
prepared. I don't want to go last because it's not a good note to end the show on. So don't.
Okay. I'll go first. I never go first.
Okay.
All right,
All
then
Xavier.
I'll
right.
go last.
Sounds good. All right. My minute starts now. So I wanted to talk about the reason I'm in Seattle. Opening day tomorrow for the Dub C fish sticks, and this is going to be a little history lesson for you
Oh,
guys
wow.
in the next minute. So,
Okay.
the Dub C fish sticks started as the Highline Bears in 2015, kind of a renovated stadium. It got burned down in a fire in the 70s, and then renovated by this guy named Mel Olson. So it's called Mel Olson Stadium. They were the Highline Bears, but they weren't really, they were just some other collegiate team in the Seattle area. No one really was interested. So they rebranded to the Fish Sticks, which, instantly catches your eye because it's a baseball team called the Fish Sticks. And they've turned these games into almost a spectacle. And you can kind of feel it in the West Seattle community, at least. It's like the best thing it's got going for it because it's in White Center, which, truth be told, not the best part of town. And, it's created this almost sort of community that you're seeing in this specific part of the city. And I've only spent 3 days here, but you can already feel it. So I am excited to get after it. And they play the Washington A's tomorrow. So go Fish Sticks.
Go fish sticks. What league are
Yeah.
they in?
They are in the Pacific International League, PIL,
Okay.
and they're going
Do
for
they have
back-to-back
international teams?
championships. No, just teams in
Okay.
Washington. They used to.
Okay. We
I just
love our
want
in
to,
teams.
I was just going to say, I think that was one of the cooler overtime segments we had. I love it. Like, telling a cool story and, go support my man. He's going to be doing some great
Mhm.
play-by-play for the Fish
Oh
Sticks.
yeah,
So
Melson Stadium is also known as the Fryer,
that's
like the
cool.
fish fryer.
That's cool. Yeah. So go check him out. Go check out his, play-by-play that he's going to be doing.
Check it out. I've
All right,
got a
Wesley, it's
yeah.
Yeah,
about
you
to get
want,
real negative in here.
Yeah.
apparently. I'm going
All
to be kind
right,
of negative too. I'm going to warn you.
Stomba, 1 minute starts now.
We didn't even get to it in the NFL segment, so I figure I've got to just waste my
Oh,
overtime minute on it. The Chicago Bears they're still not nearly a done deal, but they're even more threatening now to move to Indiana after voting to, I don't know, they worded it so vaguely, move forward with whatever plans that they don't have. And it's just so frustrating to see billionaire George McCaskey, I think he's a billionaire. I can check that, but and Kevin Warren, these people just the the greed of like these people want taxpayers to fund their stadium or they're going to leave for another state. It's ridiculous. And I think one of the great things about Chicago sports is that we have right now all of the teams in the city. It's that we're not, in Arlington or in Foxborough. Sorry, Xavier. But
No, it's fair.
now it's going to be, that'll be no longer here pretty shortly.
That Bears Colts rivalry is going to hit though.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it is a tough one, like for sure. You never want to see a team, especially, not to add insult to injury, but especially move out of the state that their
Yeah.
name is in. Are they going to change to the Hammond Bears,
I
the
mean,
Indiana
that's
Bears?
definitely a first in professional sports, right? For a team to be named after a city and they don't even play in that state. Well, okay, the
New
No, no,
York,
no.
Chiefs,
all
Washington,
the New
DC,
York teams,
DC, DC, DC.
huh?
The
and
FedEx
all the
Field
New York
is in Landover, Maryland. That's going
Okay.
to change. They're moving back to DC, but they
and
played in
and all
Maryland.
the New York teams play in New Jersey.
Hmm.
MetLife is in
Yeah.
New Jersey.
I guess the Chiefs
If you
kind
want to get really technical, the Dolphins play in Miami Gardens, Florida. So
is speaking of
there
Miami,
you go.
is South Beach a neighborhood in Miami or is it a different city?
Yeah, it is.
It's a neighborhood.
It's
Okay.
it's right next to downtown Miami.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
just because I want to be a geography nerd, I would say that the Kansas City Chiefs, when they moved to Kansas, like Kansas City, they're really talking
that's
about
worse.
Kansas, Missouri. You know what I mean? Even though technically they'll still be in Kansas City. When they're
That's
named,
worse in my opinion
yeah,
because you know all of that down in Indiana, like Gary and that stuff, that's still associated with Chicago. The split between Kansas and Missouri there is like I think it's more so than the split between those kind of just mesh. So I don't know that those are both bad. Those both
yeah.
aren't great. All right,
Yeah, I
Xavier.
mean, I was just gonna say to your point about Foxborough, I will say, yeah, I wish they were in Boston, but at the same time, and it kind of creates a cool atmosphere, which wouldn't be a known town at all if weren't for the Patriots. So
Shout out
Yeah.
Glendale.
shout out Glendale.
All right.
I like that though.
Maserati 1 minute starts now.
Yeah, so I am going to dedicate my 1 minute to Mr. Brian Bayo. So, if you haven't seen the news, Brian Bayo, Brian Bayo has got sent down to AAA after having a 10 ERA this year as a starter and an 0.7 ERA with an opener. So, basically, my problem with this is he can't start a game. His ERA in the first inning is 14 currently. So, he can't start a game. I don't know what it is. It's clearly mental because whenever he comes in the second inning, he looks like Paul Skeens out there. Like 0.7 is
Not a
ridiculous.
big league manager. Put him in the bullpen.
See, this is, I think, kind of the Red Sox mindset with it. Like, throw him in the bullpen. See, the problem with this is Bayo is stubborn. He keeps saying in all these, post game, he's like, oh, I don't want to go to the bullpen because I'm a starter and I've proved, that I can play well as a starter. I'm just not playing right now. So now you talk about me going to the bullpen because I'm pitching bad. It is a joke to me.
Brian Bayo is good, or has been good, but he's not enough of a superstar to be like that. You know what I mean?
I mean,
I
Devers
think,
was definitely more of a household name in Boston, and he did the same thing, and it got him traded. So who knows what's going to happen to Bayo if he's pulling the same thing.
though, let's be honest, though, Bayo's not that good. Like, I'm sorry. Like, he's fine, but he has, whatever people say, like, oh, yeah, he has potential. I don't care. I don't care if he has potential. He doesn't play well. Like, there is a difference. So in my mind, like, if someone's offering you something for him, maybe it's time you trade him because clearly isn't working with the Red Sox, or let him get right in AAA, which is what they're trying to do now. Let him go spend some time kind of reworking his mind in AAA. Maybe he comes back as a 3-5 starter, but nonetheless, like when Crochet comes back in 20 days because they just put him on 60-day IL, like Bayo doesn't have a spot on the roster. You're not replacing any of those starters once Crochet comes back. He doesn't have a spot on the roster.
Yeah. Well, let's go into a more lighthearted subject to close things out. It's an exciting time in sports. We've got
It is.
football, hockey, or sorry, not football, hockey, basketball, MLB, and now association football, all going on now. So,
And fish sticks opening day.
Fish
well,
sticks opening day. That's the real big one.
yep. So watch the fish sticks, watch Major League Baseball, the finals and the Stanley Cup, and perhaps most importantly, watch the World Cup. And so for Angus Trangmo and Xavier Maserati, I'm Wesley Stombaugh. And in the words of the World Cup song, let's play football.